In today's video, we're going to talk about getting paid, specifically how to overcome objections with an insurance adjuster when they want you to use Xactimate and they're begging for measurements and maybe you don't have measurements, maybe you're not using Xactimate. Or better yet, what if they're asking for moisture logs and moisture readings and you didn't have any for day one or day two? How do you overcome all of that and still get paid on a restoration project? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Here's the deal. If you own a restoration company and you want to get past the insurance company stretching things out and trying to keep from paying you, you don't want to miss this video. Let's go. So the problem or question is, hey, I don't have any dimensions on this. I need to know how much you did. Well, number one, my answer to that would be, no, you don't, because you can do time and materials or you can do unit pricing. And if you do time and materials, then there is no unit pricing. That's even in Xactimate, okay? So if you did time and materials using Xactimate, which you could, they could still come back to you and say, I need dimensions. Does that make sense? Now, There's still a distinction between a sketch and dimensions or a sketch and square footage, because if you did 600 square feet, you still don't need to sketch it. And it doesn't matter if it's a rectangle or a triangle. 600 square feet is 600 square feet. All they're trying to do is trying to find out a little better so they can quantify it and put it into a different thing to lower it. That's what they're trying to do. Does that make sense? And my answer every time is, listen, we do it the same way every time, and we routinely get paid in full. So I know that you guys can. So we're at this. Where are you? And I just want to try and get them to start talking money. And in your situation, they're probably saying, I can't even evaluate this yet. But you can't evaluate it. You just don't want to. Like at some point, like we've already done it. This is the way we do it. Okay? And let's just run this out a little bit further, Joe. If you don't do an Xactimate, they're eventually going to make you an offer. They're going to pay a number. Does that make sense? Here's the next thing I'll say too as well. I routinely do it the same way and get paid in full. Okay, that's what we do. And then secondly, this is why you start sending the scope summary to the customer so they can send it to the adjuster with the questions. If there's any problems or questions with coverage, scope of work, or the price of the work, please let us know right now. Now the homeowner understands that this is the way you do it and this is how much it is. And I'm going to tell the adjuster, like, listen, this is our price. This is our price. And I'm just going to go back to the homeowner and then that's where I go back to this is where you go back to explaining to them what your collections process is. And after so many days, it gets escalated and they're saying they want it this way. Man, I'm telling you, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And I'm offering a 10% discount and they're not moving. I'm going to need you to jump in and be proactive here. And then you use your homeowner as your chess piece to expedite the process. I'm probably doing the homeowner on the side anyway, because the homeowner needs to know, like, once you're doing the job, after 14 days, the deal, it's due. So I'm looking for them to get. And the homeowner, and see, once you run the squeeze play, the adjuster's showing up with questions 14 days later. The homeowner's already asked them for their questions on day 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now you're asking me for questions. And the work's done now. So what I would say is if you keep running it, you just got to get enough data to see. Does that make sense? Once you've done 50 of them or 100 of them or 200 of them, there will be, and what you're going to find, I'm going to tell you what you're going to find. They're going to pay it in full or cut it in half because they either looked at it or they didn't. And if you do enough of them and they do start to pay them in full, now you've got the conviction to tell them, listen, we do it the same way every time. We routinely get paid in full. Right now, you just don't have that conviction. Hey guys, real quick, in case you didn't know, I help people just like you grow and scale your water damage restoration business. If you are interested in me helping you grow and scale your company, go to workwithshane.com. We hop on a 15-minute call to see if we're a good fit. Workwithshane.com. Now, let's go back to the video. So yeah, that's where I would go back. And then I'm not going to bill it hourly. I'll do it by the crew. I'll make it muddy. Does that make sense? I'm charging the work we did inside that area based on my crew. It's not going to be per man hour. I would do it per crew, and it's up to a certain amount of time. Because you got to keep in mind, this goes back to turn in the estimate before you're done. You don't know if it's going to take 6 hours or 12 hours. You ain't done it yet. So if you don't know if it's going to take 6 or 12, you're going to charge the higher amount. So my language in often cases will say up to 4 days or 4.5 days, or a crew up to a day and a half or 2.5 days of demolition. Like if you give them some measurements, it's going to take it from 9,500 to what? 7,500? I have no idea. Like the linear feet of whatever they think was pulled. Okay, fine, Nancy, pull your footage out if you want, but that doesn't mean we didn't do the job. So like what What do you propose otherwise? It doesn't make it go to zero. Make them give you a number. And is that number over or under 10%? Like, that's where you have to quantify it. You have to get them to move to give you a number. So then if it's $3,200, was it really about the linear footage? Yes or no? Yeah, but the linear footage does not equate to $6,000. So it wasn't about that. Because the other things, so your work performed as source of loss, how much was that in the total grand scheme of a $9,500 estimate?
$4,500.
Okay. So it shouldn't be more. $7,500 should be where they're at then, roughly. If you took all of that $2,000, you just threw it away, we're still at $7,000. So what I'm trying to say is it's not about the footage. Here's what I would invite you to do. 2 things. Number 1, make sure that you're sending your scope estimate, your template. Make sure you're sending it on day 2 or 3. And then have your customers send per hour conversation emails. That's an important thing to do. Okay. Have them send per hour conversation emails. And then make sure you're letting them know that after so many days, it's going to require their participation to help get paid. And at some point, there will be an offer made. It may be $3,200 or it may not be. Like, you could tell the customer, hey, is it the linear footage? Like, go add some linear footage to your $9,500 estimate. And then what? They're going to have something else to bitch about. So I'm telling you, here's a good way to get out of the measurements piece. If you're actually providing an estimate before all the work's done, here's the reason why you don't do the measurements. You don't really know what all is affected when you get started. So we don't write how many linear feet we're going to take out because we don't know. And they want to estimate. And so we're giving you an estimate and we're making it flexible to where it makes, like, we're going to do all of this work in this area. And it's going to cost roughly this. Email it to the homeowner, and then I have them email it to wherever the point of contact would be. And I make sure they know that point of contact, because it's usually going to be an email to statefarmfireclaims.com or whatever that is. And here's what you're going to find. This is what's really going to happen. The communication to the customer on day 2, 3, 4, and the transparency, this will have them as an advocate, and they will be pissed at the carrier for yanking them around. And they'll be much more likely and understanding to pay you because they already know, because you've already told them and they agreed. And the homeowner followed up 2 or 3 or 4 times with the adjuster with no response. And now they suddenly have a problem. And man, they either go great or they don't. And if they do go great, we have no problem. If they don't, I give you a step-by-step guided plan to resolution. And they either pay it in full or they'll cut it in half. And even when they cut it in half, we offer X amount off in % of a discount. And we do over 7 figures a year. That's us taking off $100,000 right off the top because we're good people. And we'll offer that same deal to you or anybody else. So don't worry, there's not going to be a problem. Let's just keep going. And that's my message. And that message is the same using Xactimate or not using Xactimate. You can still run the squeeze play with Xactimate, but it's going to go back to this. You have to be enlisting the help of your client, your customer. They have to be involved. If they're not involved, they're going to be involved sooner or later. Guys, if you didn't already know, the 2 biggest problems you're going to have in owning a restoration company are this. Number 1, getting consistent water damage jobs coming in the door. Number 2, getting paid what you're worth for those water damage jobs. For that reason, I'm addressing both those problems with these videos to my left or right. On one side, it's about getting jobs. On the other side, it's about getting paid. Go over there, click the link. I'll see you in the next video.